If a flood was to hit your home right now, would you be ready for it? And would you have enough on hand to last without power for a few days? A new poll conducted for the federal government appears to show a large majority of Canadians aren't.
Anyone, anywhere, anytime.
That sentiment certainly true in the GTA time after time. This GO train stuck next to a raging Don River in 2013. Or major damage to the Toronto Islands in 2017 and 2019. A poll conducted for Public Safety Canada found only 1 in 10 respondents said they were prepared for a flood, and 76% of Canadians were unaware of the specific risk related to flooding.
So it's surprising to us that people just don't seem too worried about flooding when it's an increasing problem.
Department spokesperson Tim Warmington says thinking of basement flooding at a home, the average damage is around $40,000.
Natural disasters go. Flooding is by far one of the most expensive and one of the most pervasive.
When it comes to actual risk of flooding in Toronto through the year, it isn't just a springtime fear.
In the wintertime, we have the risk of ice jams whenever you have rain falling on top of already frozen watercourses. In the springtime, if there's still a lot of snowpack on the ground, then you get a big rainstorm on top of that. That can result in flooding. In the summertime, we might recall some very memorable flooding events in the Greater Toronto Area. And then the worst flood that we've actually ever seen in the Greater Toronto Area was in the fall when Hurricane Hazel came through back in 1954.
As for preparing in advance, Rehana Rajabali at the TRCA says it's harder to predict flooding longer range in Toronto.
Because our watersheds are so small and so urbanized, it's not possible early on to predict the kind of weather that actually generates flooding. It really is the kind of thing that shows up on your weekly or daily weather forecast.
The organization has flood mapping on its website that can tell residents if they'll have a higher likelihood of damage. Key information to arm yourself with.
An ounce of prevention is a pound of cure.
Warmington says in addition to knowing your overall flood risks, he offers these tips. Check and clean your eaves troughs every spring and fall. Make sure water is flowing at least 6 feet away from your home, and you might need to grade areas where pooling is happening. Keep your important documents higher in your house and in waterproof packaging. Also, have enough food, water, and clothing on hand at any time for each household member to last 72 hours. For more on this story, go to citynews.ca. In Toronto for City News, I'm Nick Westoll.